We all have storms in our lives that cleanse, clear, and convert the aftermath into a rainbow. If you have the right attitude, you can grow and weather the storm. Let's talk about it now over Lunch with Stormy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Stormy Simon, your host on Lunch with Stormy, where we get to know people who are doing extraordinary things. I am an e-commerce pioneer and a businesswoman who now just beats her own drum, and it is my passion for people and the interesting stories that they carry that has led me here to share inspiring conversations with you and really special guests over lunch with me, Stormy. And I am so excited for today's guest. She's an icon and an undeniable talent. And you know her songs when they come on the radio because you instantly start singing. You know her when the DJ hits the dance tracks because you get your ass on the floor and you start dancing. And those are my very favorite types of songs. She is one of the few artists in the musical history to successfully cross over into almost every musical genre and chart with hit singles in pop, dance, R&B, adult contemporary, and rock. This chick's performed on Broadway too. And I'm speaking about the legendary Taylor Dayne. There's more. I know there's more. Taylor sold over 75 million albums and singles worldwide. She's earned 3 Grammy nominations, an American Music Award, and she is ranked as the number 18 dance artist of all time by Rolling Stone magazine. And her memoir, Tell It to My Heart, is a bestseller on Amazon. And she's busy. Her phone's ringing. She's got all kinds of stuff going on. Besides all of that, her hardest job of all, this woman is a single parent to twins. She did that all by herself. So everybody help me welcome Taylor Dayne.
Hi, somebody must have the breakthrough code because this is not even on.
What isn't on? Your phone? Oh, I know. Happen Taylor Dayne. They got to get to you. I am so excited. First of all, you look stunning.
Thank you. So do you. I'm
We're
loving
aging.
all side sweep glasses. You know, that's that Stormy.
Right. That's right. You sing it much better than my mom did.
Well, she just knew what song to pick for you. She just knew the name, baby.
You know, they were so conservative, my parents, and they had 4 of us. I was the baby. And they go through like, hey, we're going to name you Greg. You'll be Rod. You'll be Bobby. And then I come out and they're like, you know what? We'll just call this one Stormy.
Doubtful. I'm pretty sure you were born on a pretty specific day. They had what were their reasons behind you?
You know, my dad, this is interesting. So my mom named all the kids. My dad had read a book called Boston's Place. And in it is a character, an entrepreneur named Stormy. And this entrepreneur is a madam for her own house. Yeah. And they named her Stormy. My dad said, you know, in that time for her to be an entrepreneur was amazing. And he loved the character. But get this, I found the book, it's out of print. I found the book and I've never read it.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Nervous? You nervous?
Kinda. Yeah, I kinda am. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Crazy?
Challenge. Read the book.
I gotta read the book.
Is your dad with us still?
No.
Ooh, well, there's your big challenge. That's why. Probably.
That's why I haven't read it. Yeah, I didn't get it until he had passed. And, you know, I was young when he passed. I was like 21. So it's not like all of that really sets in.
That's why Lori wants me to have a podcast.
You need to have a podcast.
Nah, it's only because I ask those kind of questions. So you need to, well, you don't need to. You could.
Read the book.
Get the book. You have the book. You could put it by your bed a little bit every night. You could just like
look for that. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
I'll read it with you.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Stormy. We could start it. We could call it Stormy Nights. And each night we do a chapter, we just pick up a page.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
Dude,
Do it on
isn't it?
Clubhouse. Yes.
Dude, and you can like pick up the vape, you go, stormy nights, and you could get
You'll
into
sing the
it.
intro.
Yeah.
Do it. You're so right. It would be good to read it, like do the Audible version, so everybody's got to go on the journey.
Why not? It's probably, I'm sure your father he's probably watching right now and he's just going, wow, I can't wait for my daughter to know really why I named her.
Right.
Because, your father got one in the game. He got one kid he named you, very special.
They waited 7 days. My mom, he wouldn't sign the birth certificate.
No doubt. There's a real strong
There
reason.
is a reason.
He's a very special child. Trust me.
So there's a message in there. I got to find it.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you'll write the song about it.
Why not? It's a great name. Great name, Stormy.
Oh my God, I can't wait to learn about you.
Well, let's talk.
So my first question is, do your friends call you Tay Day?
They call me TD, T Dizzle, TD, T Dazzle. Yeah, TD, Tada. Yeah, anything.
Yeah. I was like,
Tay Day?
Yeah, Tay Day, I guess.
Okay,
Tay Day. Like, I bet her rap name is Tay Day.
All right. Well, you just nailed it. There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. So I want to start off with lightning questions. And these are just super simple questions just to get to know you a little bit.
Okay.
So Madonna or Paula Abdul?
I'm really good friends with Paula.
Okay. I'm Paula girl too. Aliens or Bigfoot?
What?
You had to get abducted by aliens or meet Bigfoot, which one would you do?
Bigfoot, I like the forest.
You do Bigfoot? Okay. Steven Tyler or Mick Jagger? Oh, I know on this one, but I know mine.
I spend a lot of, I've hung with Steven a lot more than Mick. It's just.
Okay, so he's the guy, when he gets on stage, I still scream like I'm 7. Steven Tyler, I follow him and go to his concerts.
I mean,
Did you make out with him?
It's just he's more accessible to me.
Did you make out with him?
No. But I mean, I could probably lap dance him right now if I wanted to go up the road.
Can we both do it?
Yeah, I'll call him.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he's fun like that.
Perfect. And then if you had to listen to one artist, you're driving from LA to New York, coast to coast, by yourself. You have to listen to one artist the whole way. You can't turn off the radio. Who's it going to be? Hard hop.
I'd say, we just put this out there. It's a toss-up between Stevie Wonder and Erykah Badu or D'Angelo.
Ooh, good ones. I like Stevie Wonder. I haven't had that one yet. Yeah, that's a good one. It's got to be someone that you can't, for me, it's got to be like I would do Frank Sinatra, where it doesn't lift my tempo too much because driving, I start to get irritated.
Yeah, I could go through so much of Stevie Wonder. Like, there's just I could start with yeah, but I could go through so much D'Angelo. But yeah, Stevie Wonder.
He's a good one. All right. So talk about, you're growing up. You're from New York. Are you an only child? Like, I'm interested in how you got to be so talented in music. If it was just this gift you were given, or if your parents were,
Yeah, they were very influential. Music was in the home. It was played. My parents, I grew up in New York. I was born in New York City Hospital. You don't get more New York than that. Raised in the Bronx till I was 3. Then my brother was 6. I'm a middle child. My brother was 6. We moved. I was 3, and he was turning 7. And then my younger brother was born when I was 2.5. So I'm a middle child. So there's 3 of us. 2 boys and 1 girl. And then we lived in Long Island for predominantly my childhood.
What do your brothers do? Are they musically inclined, or was it? Oh, they are.
They're not. They're in the music business. I was the artist. I was in the arts. Yeah, they're in. One was in an agent, pretty much, or one was in lighting design. My older brother was in lighting design. went on to work at Studio 54. He went to he went into Studio 54 Playboy Club, and the other one was DJ. He was really pretty much in he worked in a record pool. He worked in a record company. He honestly in dance music. So they were both very much in the music business.
You have had to have gone to some epic parties with your brother at Studio 54.
He
right?
did. He did. I was younger. So he was doing that whole roller rink stuff, the whole business.
Yeah.
I was in high school in the 70s and junior high and the whole business. So he was living the dream. I was sneaking into the clubs and performing in clubs in all the 70s. I lived in the greatest time of music, in my opinion, was the 70s. You know, that's just what I believe.
I agree. I do. Those bands and those outfits, and you know, I go back to
Every
Steven
club.
Tyler.
It was all live music. It was all live music. It was, of course, I mean, of course, to us, the funk and all that stuff was live. Everything that you hear between disco, funk, it was all alive and well and living in the clubs and coming out of Detroit and coming out of everything America and crossing over from the UK. But that was all coming from America and spilling over into the UK and then coming back to us, from Jimi Hendrix to the soul to all of it. Is everything that we had from the 50s and the 60s that spilled over from the gospel. It was all coming. It was American music and soul, and it was just we were very, very blessed and fortunate to hear it in our radio.
And then now, like even the Bob Dylans of the world, like they're considered indie artists now, and they were so influential during that Flower Child and Flower Power time. You know,
well, one of our great, you know, the Canadian artist of Joni Mitchell. I mean, I had a real, you know, my youth listening to Joni and the Melanies and the Crosby, Stills and Nash, and of course the Neil Youngs. I mean, I will never ever be able to thank those artists. You know how to write a lyric and to listen to those songs and the melodies, the choices, the purism. But that took me right back to the swamps of the Allman Brothers and listening to Greg Allman.
Oh,
the ache of that. I mean, the purism of that, and just the chord progressions, those chord changes. I'll never.
That's so true.
It's where I went.
Yeah.
And that took me right to Maurice White and Earth, Wind and Fire, and then Stevie Wonder again, and more, you know, Marvin Gaye and Al Green. I mean, I just can't.
Well, you did. I read something just right before this morning that you had done a remake of "Can't Get Enough of Your Love" by Barry White. Is that true?
Oh yeah, that is
one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Barry White songs.
I think it's on my third album. That's on Soul Dancing. That's the first single released.
I'm gonna find that. That is a great song. I can't wait to hear your version. If I
haven't
already, I probably have.
Yeah.
You know, in the day, because I listened to you all the time. I'm that age. You were talking to me.
Yeah, that was like 94. It came out. Yeah, it was huge. I did it with Barry. It was amazing. It was amazing.
It's a big record. Heard it. Mm-hmm. I have heard that. I'm super jealous on that one.
The CNC Factory. I think Whitney had just come out with "I'm Every Woman." It was a big record for. It was a big release because Whitney had that. You know, it was a big thing for Arista. They had Whitney's "I'm Every Woman." It was a tremendous record, obviously. And then Clyde was on a roll. Arista was on a roll. And it was then Taylor Dayne released this with CNC again, and then Lisa Stansfield did another cover. So this was the cover time. Yeah.
You have been providing music for decades, and it's incredible because when I think of, you know, a career like yours where you have this, and I'm sure it's innate talent, but it also takes a lot of work, right? As a businesswoman, I ran Overstock for, you know, was there for 15 years. And for you, like, this is decades of managing your business that happens to also be your talent, but it's not easy. You know, it's not easy to go on and stay so relevant for so long and then get on Fox's Masked Singer, you know, as popcorn, which is my favorite thing. It's like, oh my gosh, she was on that. I'm just starting to fall in love with that show. I just got introduced to it.
She was an amazing character. I loved her. I love her. I love popcorn.
So
She
when you're
amazing?
inside, are you air conditioned?
No.
You're not.
No. Do none of you know? Oh my
I
God.
thought they would have like some air pumping through the suit
You get a
and
little
everything.
fan, baby. This is a challenging, God bless Gladys Knight, God bless Patti LaBelle. I mean, these women really, they did this the season before me and a season before that. This is coming into the fourth season. And this is, these masks are gorgeous. This costumes are elaborate couture made to, this
You can't see any shape,
elaborate.
right? The shape is just, I mean, you are the shape of that was my cat.
Aw.
I mean, Camper Trailer. You are the shape of this outfit. Like you couldn't tell
Well,
who was
they're
in it.
designed, look, and they're body fitting, but they're also, you don't know, under layer of layer. I mean, if you saw Nick Carter's, he's in a crocodile, but you're talking anything could be 3 foot from your, I mean, Nick's a tall human being, and but it was 2, 3 feet above my head. These are scaled very differently. You're in a quite enormous outfit, and then you're scaled quite, and I'm wearing a haltered, just an enormous weighted.
Ironically enough, I did see popcorn. I did see popcorn. I saw the popcorn perform.
No, so people ask me so many interesting questions. No, you're not. I'm not mic'd from within. None that I'm aware of are mic'd from within. I wasn't. I don't believe Tori Kelly was. I don't believe Leanne is. We're not mic'd from within. We're using handhelds from without.
Inside,
People ask me if you had mics within the costume,
yeah.
within
But
the mask.
your microphone is outside of your
Correct.
costume.
We have mesh outside. Yeah, we're singing from without a microphone within the mask.
That's powerful to get
Yeah.
it through there.
Yes.
And no air. How much does the costume weigh?
Everybody's is a different weight depending on what you're doing. What your mask is in. But some had
Like
some
30
heavy,
pounds?
they try to lighten it up, and they're fitted, and then we cut and do, and it was unbelievable, challenging. I mean, I was dealing with more of a drum, as she was weighted and had a circumference around her. I mean, I'd be walking around like kind of like heavy load coming through. I would bang into things a lot. So we had to make things much more streamlined as we went through it. But that's the weeks involved in creating the costumes, and that's what these incredible
It really
designers.
is. It really is. I mean, and congrats on doing it because it's interesting when people pop out of there, you're just like, what? I can't believe that's who it is every single time.
Oh, the choreography is just that in and of itself. And when you're walking, basically because of the meshing on one of the eyes, I had sight in one eye the whole time. So imagine when we're doing these moves, and I spend a lot of time on my choreography and figuring it out, and the moves and the dancers, and a lot of the times the dancers that I was working with, and these moves that we're working on, and the choreography that we're doing. I mean, it was just, sometimes you just so blurred out. You know how you're on your pen, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not even on. You're just really counting numbers. You really got to learn things down. And I was like, okay, yeah, I was lost a lot of times, and I was like, just make sure you're on the right path.
Right, one eye popcorn.
One eye popcorn, and just make sure you're on the mark, because there's just roads and traveling. You just had to make sure you traveled on certain marks because you really can't see.
Right. Well, I love it. I
It was
love that
amazing.
whole thing.
It was so energetic. It was so much fun, and honestly, it was a ride. It was just an incredible ride.
Do you, outside of that, of course, like what's your proudest moment on stage? Is it the American Music Award? Is it, you're singing with an icon that you love?
I got to be honest, it changes all the time. You don't have that at this point in the game, when they really mean it, it's the last thing it's the last thing you created. It really is. I mean, I've had some wonderful, incredible moments in my life and in my career. I really have, but you put the next foot in front of you and you go. It really is. It's your last great achievement, you know. And I've had incredible achievements, and I remind myself by going outside into my back house and looking at these beautiful awards, or I look at, you know, some of these great plaques in here, and I do them. But I don't know if you can get all fuzzy-eyed with all that.
Right. Well, that's the right answer, I think. I mean, if everybody could just be as pleased with their last moment than the one that happened 20 years before that, I think we'd probably.
I think those are wonderful achievements, and I think you can have a lot of pride in that. And I think if you, and I know you can, I know that's an incredible achievement, and I know that, you know, if you, and I think if you every day have a beautiful challenge with yourself and can find that beautiful crowning moment with that, and with your family and peace, and all those things that every day you have purpose, you know, of course, it's very, very important, you know, most important thing, of course, is peace and purpose with yourself on a daily. But, you know, your next best project is the things you're working on a daily. I really do believe that. And so that's the daily purpose, you know, the daily moment. Carrying a child in my womb would be probably unbearable. And we've talked about this for years. Any surgeon I've ever went to, and any of my beautiful OBGs, and anyone that I've ever met with and talked with. I mean, it's just, so when surrogacy came up, even possible it was only legal in California, I think in Delaware, and this was in the year 2000. And I lived here. Mm-hmm.
Is that right? I had no idea that it was.
People here. I have friends even from Australia that have come here. And now it is so, you know, you're talking only 20 years later, 21 years later. Most people come to this country.
I cannot believe it was illegal. What do you mean illegal?
Yeah. It's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And then you remember that those days there was more multiples, like triplet. It was like a real
big Octomom.
Correct. So they were finally doing things where they were signing up and saying, you know, so twins were obviously a lot more common.
Right.
And there were more multiple baby births if you were doing, but it was only legal in California, and I believe another state was Delaware.
I had no idea.
And then, of course, it became so much more profitable and so much more business, and it became more and more and more and more. But it was very difficult for me as a single parent to find an agency that would represent me. And then in the LGBT community built and grew and grew and grew and fought more for marriage equality. They got rights far more than we did, and they really built this. And it became such a profitable business, and far more than that it just started opening far more doors, and marriage equality and so much. And kudos to them, because they built, because it became, it's the sadness of it is that it's big business on one level, and that's all these people care about on some level, because that's what pushed it. But I mean, the industry grew, and the industry pushed it, thank goodness. But it also, then it opened up a lot of statewide, and then, you know, the surrogates came with it. So it opened up statewide. It opened up nationwide, you know.
I wonder.
So now you have so many more states that participated, and of course it opened up so many doors. But yeah, it was very, very minuscule. And as an only parent, and then of course the LGBT community. So it really opened my eyes as to how important this really is.
Right. And so you've got 2 girls?
No, a boy and a girl.
A boy and a girl. Okay. And how was that? Was everybody home during the pandemic?
I thought I'd be empty nesting. They're home. I got dorm number 1 and dorm number 2.
How is it? You know, I was lucky. My son, you know, they're both in their 30s, like I said, but my son, his apartment lease ran up during the pandemic, and I had a basement that was empty. So I was like, please move in with me. So I got lucky with that. Yeah. But he's not a teenager. I remember wanting to punch him when he was a teenager. Yeah. Like wanting to slug him in his face. Now it's good to live together in the pandemic. Were they both in college?
One is and one isn't. Like, I mean, but they're in their first years. Like, they graduated high school. Like, what? That was a blip. It was like not even enjoyable for them.
Right.
And they're first starting on this college of what their dream was or what they really wanted to do. It just didn't even pan the way they wanted it to go. They couldn't even go where they wanted it. It's just been not as joyful or anywhere near where they thought it would be. And there's a lot of frustrations there. My daughter's an actress and planning to start, and that's was a complete blip.
Wow.
So there's been a
Wow.
lot of, you know,
I think the wisdom that they will have, though, that this generation has, especially these kids that have missed their graduation and their proms, and I think they're going to get some wisdom of value and appreciation for those things. Where I think we were coming out of a place where we took a lot for granted. We take a lot of, we'll just hop in our car, we'll just go do this, we'll take an Instagram picture, and we'll do that. And now, I think we've all got an appreciation for it again. But to get that at a young age I think there's some benefit to it. There's a wisdom that'll come with it, I hope.
there's got to be something.
So I was giggling and I saw the picture. You're holding this great picture. Everybody can see it on Dayne's den.
Yeah.
But, a little story comes up with it. But, oh, my heart got so jealous. So there's now Robert Plant and Steven Tyler, where I'm like, if I could just I would have been the best assistant to you. I would have done amazing work.
Robert Plant could have gone really far, I think.
Personally.
Oh, very personal. Well, that was the young and fun and full. But yeah, he's like, oh, my band, yeah, that was great, but I had to leave and go to the what is it, the BP or whatever, the British awards. I had to jump on a little jet there, but it was like so exciting. And I think Billy Ocean was there. I mean, yeah, it was just funny. We just were having a good time on
That's
set.
That's the best. Those are the
Look at-
people.
Yeah.
As a little girl that kind of defined, what he wore. I wanted to dress like Robert Plant and Steven Tyler. I was like, dang, they look so good with their hair and their jewelry and sexy vests.
It was a moment. That was definitely a rock and roll moment for me. I was like living the dream, going, if I don't get it, like, you're just like everything I ever dreamed of. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had the can of, right? He had the beer. He was the rock. Like, it was that.
His stomach.
And I did ask him to come to London. I go, you need to come with me on this plane and go to these awards. And he goes, darling, I don't do award shows.
Do you do
like, what do you do? He goes, come back with me.
And you couldn't?
No, I was basically being awarded like Female Artist of the Year. Yeah, no. Just
that was a tough call.
Just that little thing called being, pop. Yeah.
Still a tough call.
Because I don't do award shows. I'm Robert Plant. No.
The chills. I love it. So, one more question. What are your thoughts? Because your timing is close to the same on Free Britney. Have you seen this Free Britney?
I did not watch it yet, but okay. I heard.
It's interesting. I hadn't followed any of it. I recently watched it.
Did you?
It's quite interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting. And as an artist, yourself.
Okay.
It's a very fine line for me, of whether or not she should have to perform. Like, she's not a puppet, So it's interesting. You should watch it and grab an opinion, of how her whole life.
Is it tough? Was it tough to watch?
It's a little eye-opening because, yes, people have control over her person, and she is a competent in her business, she runs her business. She is the talent, just like you, right? She does her thing, and she's dictated as to how she's going to do or what she's going to do or who she's going to do it with, it appears. And so I think she's just saying, I refuse to do it. I'm not going to perform anymore until she gets to be a grown-up. It's insane. Whatever she did in her past or blips and moments, we all grow up and move on. But it's disturbing that this is her art and her talent, and she's not getting to run her life. Very sad. but I'd be interested. Yeah, I'm interested in what artists think of it because you know the work that goes into it. I'm just watching for 45 minutes on a screen, and enjoying it, but it's real work. So especially for Brittany. Anyway, give it a look. Let me know what you think.
I
Because
shall.
I'm hashtagging free Britney. Like I'm in. I'm in on the free Britney train for sure. Okay, what else you got coming up for you? What are you doing?
Dayne's
Post
Den is
COVID.
right there at the helm.
Yep,
When
me
touring
too.
comes back, I will be there.
That's about it.
I'm working on new music with Mr. Greg Field. So yeah,
yay.
yeah, wonderful new
Fantastic.
producer. Yeah.
Well, I'm signed up for my COVID vaccine for next week. So
Amen.
I'm nervous and excited about that, but I guess that's what we do now.
That's what we do.
That's what we do, or at least we decide it. What a pleasure it's been to meet you and talk to you. And I, post COVID, am going on the road. I'm doing a road trip, taking my podcast on the road,
Right.
driving an RV, been going out and seeing some of the spaces that
Wow.
across America, lunch across America.
Wow.
Just
Okay.
to go see,
Exciting.
going to the Four Corners, going to go see some
neat.
monuments and
Yeah.
meet, maybe some locals, have lunch in some diners, and just be extremely safe and distant. But there's a lot of remote places in America that I've never been to.
Oh, that's super cool.
And that's what's
Love
next.
it.
Yeah, so I'll send you
Thank
some pictures from the Four Corners. That's my first stop.
I love that place. I love those.
Have you been?
Yeah.
I have not been. I grew
I
up
did
in
all that in
Utah.
my 30s. Yep. I
Amazing.
toured and toured and toured, and then I was like, I've never stopped being there. Yeah, I started doing all that Arizona, Taos, Utah. I did Zion. I really started enjoying that part of the country. All my friends I finally, I whooshed through it, and then my friends were graduating college and starting to get jobs, and I'm like, I'll meet you there. I'll meet you in Colorado. I'll get I'll stay in a hotel and I'll show me some trailheads and I'll meet you after work.
Right. That's the best. Well, I'm excited. That's what I'm looking to go do. Go get some grounding and just be with nature while COVID keeps teaching me these lessons.
Beautiful.
Everybody, you can follow Taylor Dayne on everything Taylor Dayne, isn't it? TaylorDayne.com, Taylor Dayne on Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah,
download her
Taylor Dayne Facebook. Yeah.
Tell It to My Heart is her bestseller on Amazon, which I'm going to get and read. And I am oh my gosh, Love Will Bring You Back. Dude, I love that song. I love it. Every time it comes on, I think my age, so I'm in my 50s too. We were right there together, but that Love Will Bring You Back. Just like it can bring me to tears. Sometimes I can't listen to it, and I don't even know who I'm thinking of. I think I'm just thinking of being young and in love.
You want me to sing any of it?
Yes.
You ready? Saying goodbye is never an easy thing, but you never said you'd stay forever. So if you must go, darling, I'll set you free. 'Cause I know in time that we'll be together. No, I won't try to stop you now from leaving. But in my heart, I know love will lead you back. Someday I just know that love will lead you back to my arms where you belong. I'm sure as stars are shining, one day you will find me again. It won't be long, 'cause one of these days love will lead you back. Yay!
Oh my God, Taylor. That brought tears to my eyes and chills nonstop. And then you see, I lip sync with you. I can't really sing with people that sing really, really good. So I just lip sync, but so beautiful. I'm thank everyone for listening.
Yay! Who won a Golden Globe the other night?
Really? Diane Warren, full circle. No kidding. Love that. I'm leaving it with that. Everybody listen to Lunch with Stormy. Subscribe on your podcast. Follow Taylor Dayne. We're itching to get her a podcast. I think it's going to happen.
I love you guys. Mwah.
Thank you for that. Stay in touch.
Have a great day.
Bye, guys.